Hi, and welcome back to BeanTalk. Today we once again have a special guest with us here. We have Tato Hernandez from Santa Cristina with us, who is a coffee trader with coffee from El Salvador. Tato, thank you for being here.
Thanks very much. Thank you for the invitation. Thanks for everyone who organizes this. We're happy to be here and try to bring a little more awareness to the coffee community about coffee from El Salvador and how it is to trade coffee, to import coffee, and as well as I can to produce coffee too. So anything you need.
Okay, thank you. So first off, I'd just like you to tell us a little bit about yourself. What is it that you do?
Thank you. So we founded Santa Cristina GmbH here in Vienna about 7 years ago. The idea of Santa Cristina being here is that we needed to find a better way to sell our coffee, our family coffees, and to support other coffee producers in El Salvador. I was already living in Vienna. I moved here in 2007. I was changing jobs, although I had been in the coffee production family, since I was born. So I've been visiting our farms since then. I was never involved in the production of coffee, but I do carry it in my heart for forever. You know, the passion runs in our family. My father, my mother, their parents, everybody has been involved in coffee production. So we started our company to import coffee from our family, and then we started working with other producers too. And now we are supplying coffee to Austria and coffee and European countries around Austria too.
Very interesting. Great. Thank you. And so we're actually having some coffee right now.
Thank you. Yeah. This coffee comes from Santa Ana region, Santa Ana volcano, Aguachapan, Sonsonate are other departments next to Santa Ana. So the coffee production region is not exclusively to Santa Ana.
Yeah.
Although that's where the coffee, we understand that's where it started, but it quickly grew into Aguachapan and Sonsonate, who have some of the best coffees also in El Salvador and we think in the world, with really focused producers on high quality coffees, and most of the Cup of Excellence coffees did come from that region too.
Yeah, and it tastes absolutely amazing, the coffee.
Thanks.
I really enjoyed. And so maybe talking about coffee from El Salvador, let's start off with the taste. What is the cup profile of a coffee from El Salvador like? What did it usually taste like?
Yeah. So if we talk about washed coffees, I guess, we are, our coffees are well known for being sweet, full-bodied, with a very, let's say, the acidity is very elegant.
Yeah.
It's not overpowering, no bitterness, of course. The soils, we are very fortunate of having volcanic soils everywhere and small countries, so it's all up and down. Really, we don't have many plains where to grow the coffee. So the cup profile is sweet, round, good mouthfeel. It's just all around like the coffee that you would like to taste.
Yeah.
Then it comes to the quality is another issue, but just originally we have we're very lucky to have the soils that we have.
Yeah, and so you start off that you don't have a lot of plains. So what can you, the people at home, how can they imagine like the typical coffee farm at El Salvador? What does it usually look like?
Well, I would invite them to see online, because that's the best way, of course.
Yes, of course.
Or visit.
Yeah,
we'd love to have you visit. So not just professionals, but also coffee fans. There's always a possibility to visit farms, and there are many tours. Of course, we are happy to take and help out in any way possible.
Yeah.
So regarding the characteristics of the soils, it's volcanic.
Okay.
Of course, you go up and you go down, and it's very difficult to maneuver. That's why we don't have machines. We don't use machines. All coffee picking and selection is done by hand.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult. It's very difficult to manage the roads, and then you have to clean the pads throughout the year. Now we're ending the rainy season, so there's a lot of bush. Everything is growing. Everything is growing everywhere. So you need to also keep a good maintenance of the farms, of the paths that are taken by the people picking the coffees, and by everybody who is going either to everybody that's working on the farm, not just the pickers.
Yes, of course.
So how can you imagine it? I'm not sure, because just imagine lots of. I mean, here there's some areas in Austria that you can see mountains.
Yeah.
So just imagine them, not as big.
Yeah.
And also lush. So there's also, thankfully, there will be trees, coffee trees everywhere. There are some photos of a time when we had a leaf rust issue, or coffee rust issue, and that you could see the photos of just the trees, no leaves, and that's very sad to see. So you could see you could see the fields, let's say, but and then you could take the photo, and there's only trees. There's only branches, and you don't see any growth, and that's just really, really sad. So that's thankfully we're past that. There's always leaf rust, but it's controlled, and I think that's the case everywhere.
Yeah, and how did El Salvador get this under control? The leaf rust, was it through different varieties?
Yeah. So leaf rust was mostly harmful for our Bourbon trees, our Pacamara trees, are more, let's say, delicate tasting also coffees. So that means also they were not very resistant, or they are not very resistant to leaf rust. That brings a lot of changes to the coffee plantations everywhere. You need more resistant varietals. These are coming in. We have more the new varietals, I think we're calling them, and they are not just resistant to coffee rust, but they're resistant also to weather patterns, weather changes. We're getting rains when we're not supposed to be getting rains, and also periods of drought. When we expect the rains to come, for instance, at the start of the harvest, or at the start of the harvest, at the end of the harvest, and then when we start getting the first rains of the season, that means the coffees are blossoming, and the flowering of the trees. So you expect after a certain amount of days, you'd expect a second rain, and if it doesn't come, they will dry, and that will damage the crop at the harvest for the whole year. So that's also another impact that is happening there. The leaf rust affected mostly these two coffees. We're trying very, very hard, and putting a lot of effort, and of course a lot of money into keeping those varieties. But they are, in some farms, of course, practices will depend on the farmer too. If they find a market for not Bourbon or not Pacamara trees or Pacas, they will start planting or continue to plant other types of varietals. Yeah,
and so you already started talking a bit about varieties now. So what are the most common varieties that are planted in El Salvador?
But Bourbon is the original.
Yeah.
That had been the traditional coffee in El Salvador, and it continues to be, I guess, part of our pride. Because and then there are the different types of Bourbon now. So we have some orange Bourbon, and I think there's pink also in El Salvador.
Yeah.
We're not importing pink, but I'm pretty sure there are some. There's a lot of producers who are going into different types of varietals, even within our ranges. So Bourbon Pacamara was created in El Salvador about 50 years ago.
Yeah.
So that's also a matter of pride for us.
Yeah.
Even though it's produced in other countries, that's fine, of course, but we must not forget where it comes from too. And it was done in El Salvador by Salvadorians.
Yeah, I tried some Pacamara from you before. So some of you might actually know coffee from Tato if you've been to the Vienna Coffee Festival and joined the roasting workshops with Felix Teretzbach and Lukas Sturner there. Then you actually roasted some coffee that, thanks to Tato, we got from him.
Thank you.
Which was the San Francisco.
That's right. Yeah, San Francisco. This comes from my father's side family in the Santa Ana volcano. San Francisco farm produces Bourbon, Paca, Sarchimor, and Icatu, yellow Icatu also.
Okay.
And so we import the San Francisco Bourbon Pacas a blend. It's a farm blend, and we had great results with it from the start. So we didn't want to change it, and we continue to monitor the coffee semi-wash process that we use at the farm. It's processed in the farm, but also we can't dry it at the farm anymore. There's no room anymore. We need to make some room for the naturals. Yeah, it's very small spaces, but we're working with very, very good millers now who are making sure that the quality of the beans is also maintained. Yeah. So San Francisco is the coffee that we used with them, and we're very happy of the results, and also being part of training for non-professionals. So it makes us very proud to use that too.
Yes. And so talking about the processing, what are the most common processings around El Salvador? I think you do pretty much everything from washed or natural to honey.
That's right, yeah. In El Salvador, we are also very well known for doing from the start very good honey processing coffees to honey processed coffees. But the traditional wash coffees and the traditional natural dry coffees too, and now the honeys have been we've been processing honey, drying honey. There's so many different ways of doing it. So I guess the pros we need to talk about that. But we do within the range of the semi-washed coffees and the honey coffees, and then there's a honey coffee that has been processed using water. There's honey that does not use water too. Yeah. So it depends on the farm. It depends on what the customer wants at the end. You know, there's many collaborations between producers and our clients where we try to adjust our style processing to the taste and to the quality that the not the client, I guess, the partnerships that we have. You know, it's a collaboration after all.
Yeah. And are there also farmers that try let's say the new kind of processings, the anaerobic fermented?
Yep. Yeah.
Everything.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. Sure. In the last years, there's a lot of experimentals happening in El Salvador. We need to keep up also. You know, it's interesting to a lot. It's not interesting to a lot too. You know, there's a lot of people who want to keep the traditional way of doing things. Some can't afford to be doing anaerobic fermentations or other type of fermentations, all these controlled fermentations. But we're getting really good results from that too. I can't say if it's a trend or not, if it's going to go away or not.
Yeah, we'll see.
But we of course we keep competitive. We have everything that we need to do it. We have the skills. We have the product, of course, and it's just a matter of how we've been recovering from leaf frost crisis, economic crisis. How well we can again invest into technology and the space and the manpower that we need for this type of fermentation. But we have it. We have it here in Vienna too, from us. And it's coffee that is being let's say well accepted with the community.
Yeah, I'm hoping to try some.
Sure.
We'll have to come by and visit you.
You do. You know, you're always invited to our coupling lab in our warehouse in Korneuburg, and we had it at the Vienna Coffee Festival too. Yeah. It's a bit, that's not so controlled, I guess. So that's like it's difficult to really focus on a couple of things. You know, you have a table. We had 20 samples at the Vienna Coffee Festival on Saturday, it was my opportunity to try these coffees together. We have not done it all together. Yeah. We cupped the lots, but according to producer, not all together. Yeah. So it's very nice to see the differences between the same type of coffees, same processing, by two different producers or three different producers, including ours too. So we were able to compare not just coffees from prior years, how they've developed or not this year. And we're very happy about that. We're very happy with the selection of the coffees, the processing, the dry processing. We've been getting really good feedback about the coffee selection this year too. So we're happy where we are now. We're just trying to keep the production levels higher. Yeah. They've been also damaged by factors outside our control, weather factors outside our control. And also, also in El Salvador, there's the issue of criminality. We also have some crime, not some, but around the farms too. So we have to focus on that too. There's coffee being stolen or had been stolen, but mostly it's been a factor due to weather patterns and also not just the rains or no rains, but also the temperature is also affecting a little bit too.
Okay. And so talking about El Salvador and coffee, what is the role of coffee in El Salvador? I think it has a very long history with coffee as well.
Yeah. El Salvador started producing coffee around 1800s.
Wow.
So it's going to be 150 years. So we started production at the start of last century. It was 90% of exports were coffee. So you could see everywhere in El Salvador there were coffee plantations. Even at every height, at every altitude, there was coffee. Everything, there were a couple of degrees cooler at that time too. I remember I would be going to school, and we would drive past coffee farms. And I lived in the city, in the capital city, San Salvador. So we would go from our house to the school, and we would drive past coffee plantations. And this is now, shopping centers and housing. So it's affected. Development has affected certainly the production levels, the yields. It's much lower than before. Also, I mentioned crime. That's also damaged a lot of the farms. A lot of producers had to leave the farms. I know people who just had to leave it, not even able to sell the farms. So production, of course, goes down. Yeah. And then leaf frost crisis, also made producers had to use their money if they had money from other sources, use that to keep the farms afloat, because production went down 30% to 80%, in some cases. So that means, the 80% less money for you next year. And then the recovery, of course, required a lot of effort. And strength, just personal strength, and a lot of people couldn't handle that. So a lot of the farms were just abandoned also after the leaf frost crisis. This is 7 years ago. Just recently, we've been able to see the changes. And the other changes were also the type of coffees that were being replanted. So trees were not being able to produce anymore. They were just too weak. And that's the changes that we have seen recently. Hopefully we get more investment into, of course, official investment is important, or policy. Someday we'll have policy towards coffee in El Salvador. But the leaf frost reaction was really bad at that time. You could see the numbers in neighboring countries where they had the same effect to their farms. But they had really, really good support officially, and we did not. So that was particularly harmful for El Salvador, and now just a matter of policy. But producers are strong and very proud. So we really want to continue. It's a tradition, and it's important. I mean, worldwide, coffee consumption is really high. I think it's on the top of everything. So I don't know the numbers here, but what are the drinks besides beer, I guess, in Austria? Water,
wine,
beer and wine, but soft drinks and stuff like that.
Actually, in Austria is one of the top coffee consuming countries worldwide. I think we're only beaten by the Scandinavian countries that drink more. We just hope that the consumers learn more about specialty coffee and about trade. Yes, and that's also something that we like to talk to you about and have your opinion about. Coffee pricing, what coffee costs right now and what it should cost maybe. And what is your opinion on that? I think.
Well, that's tricky for sure. I think.
I mean, that's not a question we can answer here on this couch.
Of course.
But it would just be interesting to hear your input.
Well, I'm wearing this one, but I have to wear different hats. So we have On one side, we have the well-being of the farm, of what the farmer needs and the community needs. And there's the other thing is also the importing part and logistics part, which is what I do here. And then, of course, there's a part of the roaster, the customer, or the customer of the green coffee production, and then the client, the consumer. So there's many stages to that. And everything factors into what happens with the coffee prices in direct trade. But we've seen also that the coffee prices in the commodity market have went up last year.
Yeah.
And when there's a level that the coffee price of the C market or the C contracts go up above the lowest price of the direct trade prices, then the direct trade needs to go up too. And in many cases, all prices within the range went up, just because the C market went up. And that's outside, of course, of of what we can do as producers or as importers. It has to do with the larger production countries. And that, of course, is a big celebration to have the coffee prices go up. In this case, I celebrate that, of course.
Yes.
Unfortunately, now it's gone down again, about $1.70, I think, a pound. And these trends go up and down. I was reading on that, and it just goes up and down. Since 1920s, I was checking, and it goes up to 120 a pound or 150 a pound, and it goes back down, and it continues the same trend.
Yeah.
Although now everything is more expensive. So where's the fairness in that?
Yeah.
It should be going up. Every year going up, along with
inflation,
inflation and cost of living and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So to be selling at a market price, which in our case needs to be sold to a local mill who sell the coffee in larger quantities in bulk to big coffee traders worldwide, is damaging. It had been since I remember, and till last year it was okay, but then it went down. And it was expected. It was expected. So that means that whatever increase in the price due to that made to a direct trade chain was not really. You could not keep it. It was not sustainable, because then it goes down again. And if you're basing on C market, then it's not sustainable for sure.
Yeah.
Prices went up because of other factors. Inflation, as you said. And the wars, this kind of thing.
Brazil.
Well, that's the C market.
It's the C market, yeah.
So that's but outside of market, our business, prices went up. It could have gone up to €3 per kilo this year.
Yeah.
Because first of all, part of it is due to inflation. All the other factors, everything is more expensive.
Yeah.
Part of it, when you're buying it in euro. Part of it is because of the euro fall with the dollar. So we have an origin currency, so we have to buy the coffee in dollars. There's no way around that. So whoever believes that the euro fall against the dollar will not affect your price in euro, I don't know. Should not be in this business. Yeah. But everybody accepts it. Yeah. All our close partnerships have been. Don't even ask. They know. Yeah. They're not doubting. We explain. And what we do as a partnership, as a small company, extra small company, is we communicate. So we try to communicate everything on a timely manner, so there's no surprises. So with this increase in the coffee prices, it hurt everybody. And I feel it, so there's my hat on the one side and then the other hat on the other side. Because also at the same time, the coffee prices go up, but doesn't mean that the producer is keeping the money. Yeah. Outside of market, this is all because of expenses. So expenses, they're covered by the increase, but in the pocket. I'm sure there's some that increase the price because they want to make a little extra money too. But we have close collaborations there too, and we do work together to keep a very stable price as much as we can till it reaches Austria. Then, of course, we have to apply the euro factor there too.
Yeah.
So
I guess also the increased cost of transport.
Well, this is the euro 50 or whatever you want to say, €2, 120 or 1. It depends how big you are. Depends how much you spend on logistics. Because I spend as a normal person. I don't have any special deals with shipping companies or anything else. But that's the expensive part. You know, from logistics, it's logistics here is logistics at the arrival of the coffee. So everything is more expensive. Warehouse space, manpower, logistics, actually the transportation. Since the coffee went up, insurance is up because the coffee is worth more inside the container. So that is also, but in origin also, for instance, some of the products that are used at the farms have gone up, you know, from $6 to $20 to $50. And that's local economy too. But just worldwide, there's an increase, and also manpower now in El Salvador. This is only El Salvador. Manpower, I think, I'm not sure about other countries, but policy now went into place from the government side to increase the minimum wage of the workers. So that it means a 20% increase to all the workers throughout the year. So not just the seasonal workers like the pickers and the people who just come into now for 2 or 3 months, but the people who work at the farms, which is much less throughout the year. So this is increased by 20% from before. So these are issues that came into place. This is good, of course, for the workers, but I believe there was no chance to prepare, so that the producers were not prepared to do this increase. So it just happened. So they have to increase the price of the coffee. So that stays someplace else. Hopefully, the economy will allow the workers to have enough money with this increase too, because everything is also more expensive. So it comes from origin, the increase of this price all throughout the chain, and now to us, you know. So we have to also try to manage a little bit, a small percentage or 0.something percentage to increase for our cost of living. So Santa Cristina can also keep alive, you know, because we're not increasing the prices to make money ourselves. We're just trying to keep it as stable as possible. But we also have to pay the gasoline to come here or to go to the warehouse or just to have meetings, you know. Power, gasoline, and everything is affecting us too. So there's a little bit of that. But with the coffee prices, I think what can be done is just to be mindful, to understand what is happening. But we have felt really no, I can't say concern, no issues between our partnerships with that. Great. Everybody has been so cool with that. They understand. And this is the type of collaborations that you want. It really does affect origin, and that's what we're here for. We're here to protect our source and everybody's well-being in the farms.
And so you just talked about what also the industry can do, but what do you think the consumers out there, maybe the people watching, can do to also make coffee production more sustainable financially for the coffee producers?
That's also about awareness. So I think once you know what you're consuming, not just the chain, but how good it can be even for you, because we've encountered so many people that didn't drink coffee anymore, and somehow they just tried our coffee, and because we do roast a little bit of our coffee too, you know, we do roast not just for our own consumption because we need it, but also we have a couple of small clients in offices, and we do develop different coffee profiles to supply this kind of request to have a roasted coffee direct trade from a producer. So we do that, and we found that they tried our coffee and they say we didn't get any, you know, heartburn, reflux, all the bad stuff that the stomach gets from
like very bitter coffee.
Bitter coffee, and I guess, you know, hyper industrialized roasting or whatever needs to be done to keep the prices low at the other coffee levels, you know, not specialty coffees. And I get, of course, you get it. There's all sorts of different qualities, but this is how you need to support this. You need to understand that the coffee will affect a community, first of all. Learn how the chain is managed.
Yeah.
If you like it, then that's already something positive, and then the taste will speak for itself. So in the case of our coffees, we are on the top range in points. Yeah. Well, thanks. Yeah, well, this one's great. The coffees that we import and we produce and we import also from other producers are all, you know, the least points that we have is 84 points, yeah. And all the way up to 80, high 80s. We don't want to say how much because then it's a matter of taste.
Yeah.
But quality-wise, of course, price is based on that too, or how much effort you put into not just the production on the quality, but for instance, Cup of Excellence producers, you know, they do put a lot of effort, extra effort, as any competitor does. You know, you do it for a reason too, and we do offer all sorts of coffees in our listing, in our offering. So awareness is super important. Really, the Vienna Coffee Festival is a great place to come and learn about coffee. This is really what I would say to Viennese and Austrians is, or everybody, go to your local coffee festivals, you know, and learn more about coffee. Then you will say, okay, fine, I'll pay, you know, a couple of euro more for a bag of coffee that we understand how it came here, you know, because also it comes from far away. So we have to be also not just mindful but respectful of the effort that is done at origin. Don't be discouraged when you go to a cupping and you see somebody making a face like, this coffee, you know, I don't like that. I don't like that, because even if the coffee doesn't taste like you want it to taste, doesn't mean that the person didn't put a lot of effort into bringing it all the way here. So even, you know, it's quality wise. Don't look down into it, and somebody will like something, you know, that's a good thing. Even it doesn't have to be 87, 88 points or 90, whatever points. It's you know, 84-point coffee it's a great cup of coffee, and if it's nicely processed, and if it has low the specialty grade type of defects that you're allowed to have, a couple of small defects that don't really will not really give it a bad taste of the coffee, then you know that's a coffee for you. Every day drinking coffee, we know coffees that are our Sarchim or semi-washed, for instance, from San Lucas Farm is used by a lot of people, and we're very proud of that coffee too, and very proud of our honey and
also
natural.
The Santa Cristina I tried from you. When I visited you not too long ago, was amazing. It was, like you said, everyday drinking coffee. Because I don't know about you at home, but I know I couldn't drink like an anaerobic fermented lactic something geisha or whatever every day. It would be too much for me. You need
me too.
A nicely balanced coffee.
Yes, I agree, and we have we do have just two coffees from the two top coffees from our family farms. There's Santa Cristina, which is in this farm, and that's really actually the Santa Cristina mill. And there on the right side is the drying tables. At this time of the year there was no coffee yet, but that's on the San Salvador volcano. And all the way at the end, and this, I think this is on our website, santacristina.coffee. And at the end is the mountain range of Santa Ana. So there's a Santa Ana volcano, and then behind that are the ranges at Ahuachapán and Sonsonate, like Huayua, Ataco, Apaneca, these other extra high quality production regions. So that's the Santa Cristina. So Santa Cristina has some citric acidity, you know, some maybe some tangerine, some tropical taste to it. It's honey processed, light honey, so it also has that little additional factor. And the San Francisco is a more traditional coffee, chocolate nuts type of coffee that you can certainly drink every day. And the Santa Cristina, even with these additional tastes, will have you can drink it every day too. So they're different coffees, different farms, actually same altitude, a little bit different process, but different coffees. So just from these two you can get a range. I can't. I also always change coffees. I'm not. I can't drink even these coffees. I cannot drink every day. I need to change a little bit too, and that's when in the afternoons, if I'm at the office, I'll just brew, you know, something from the cuppings and have a different type of taste. But I could I could also drink every morning, you know, Santa Cristina for sure.
Yeah. And so talk about your coffees. I have one last question, probably the most important one. Where can we try your coffees?
Thanks. Yeah, okay. So I guess the website, that's the best place to send you.
Yeah.
From our website, you can write me.
Yeah.
So that's one thing.
So
Sure.
we'll put the link down in the description.
Yeah. Don't put my photo though. Santa Cristina .coffee, yeah, that's our website, and you can write me there too. I'm sure there's even the email is there somewhere, so you can write from the message board. Yeah, you can also write there too. Ask me about anything about coffee. I'm happy to talk. As you can see, it's difficult to have me stop, but we have a list of all our roasting clients. Yeah. So even if they don't have a coffee shop near you, they have an online shop, and we try to update it as much as we can. So there's a few countries around Austria, but in Austria, yeah, we have in almost every corner we have we've been working with somebody for since our start, you know. Yeah, yeah,
it's amazing. Thank you so much for all your insight about coffee from El Salvador, and it was quite interesting to hear your perspective. And yeah, so thank you for coming by, Tato.
Thanks very much. I appreciate it.
You should definitely try some coffee from El Salvador, from Tato.
Thank you very much.
It's really worth it.
Yeah. Thanks. I appreciate that too. It's like I said, it's about the origin. Yeah. And there's a lot of information on the website also about our tradition and family production, but also you can reach us here and talk about how you can taste our coffees in Vienna and every place else. So we appreciate the invitation.
Perfect, thank you. And so yeah, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions for me, for us, or even for Tato, you can also put it down in the comments and we will answer it for you. And yeah, please hit the like and subscribe button, it would mean a lot. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.